Today I'm going to be talking about a video that a friend sent in to me. He wanted to get my opinion on what I thought about this speaker. And the topic of the video is religion. And I'll read out the person's name just out of interest. It's Zakir Naik, and there's a little blurb says here, he is an Indian Islamic tele-evangelist and preacher. Naik is renowned as a non-Arabic scholar, public orator, and an authority on comparative religion. And there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to talk about this video and this person. I don't know a lot about him, but when we play a video, I'm going to play a video soon, so you can have a look at how he speaks and he's trying to communicate with the audience. And before you take a look at this video, I want you to take a bit of time to, just a couple of seconds, to touch in with yourself, your emotions, your feelings, your thinking, and to reflect on just your general state, and to observe again when you watch this clip how you feel and what's going on. And after we do that, we'll give my opinions about what I believe is sort of happening throughout how he's communicating. So this, going back to the content of the topic as well, just as a bit of background before we jump into the video. Zaik is, or when I was talking with my friend about religion, it came up because he didn't want to eat pig, and in the Islamic tradition, one doesn't eat pig or pork, and then it comes up to this point, like how do we live our lives? What sort of choices do we make, and what do we believe in? And through when we have a conversation with another person, oftentimes we're trying to either share something we've found out, or to learn something from another party. So that's what we see here in the video. We see a couple of people asking Zaik questions, and we see his response.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rajesh, and I'm from IT profession. My question is, why a religion for a peace?
Why a religion?
Yeah, why do we need a religion? Like Islam, you're preaching Islam.
Brother asked a very good question, that why do you need a religion like Islam or any other religion? Brother, if you understand what is the meaning of religion, religion according to Oxford Dictionary means a belief in a superhuman controlling power, a personal God or gods that deserve worship. In Islam, the Arabic word used is deen. Deen in Islam means a way of life. So you asked me the question that why do you require a way of life? And why do you require to understand, as Oxford Dictionary says, religion means believing in God. So why do you have to understand God? The reason is that, brother, normally when you get a machine, if you get a machine, maybe a complicated machine, along with it you get an instruction manual. I'm asking you the question, why do you require the instruction manual? Why? Why, brother?
To understand.
To understand, because you don't know the machine. If you allow me to call the human being the machine, you'll have to agree it is the most complicated machine on the face of the earth. So don't you think this requires an instruction manual? The last and final instruction manual for the human being, it is the glorious Quran. Like how you have the instruction manual written by the producer of that equipment, or the manufacturer, or the inventor. Our manufacturer, our producer, our creator is Almighty God. So He knows what is best for the human being. So based on this, Almighty God has given the rules and regulations.
So the first thing that I notice when watching these sort of videos is that he is a very excellent communicator. He's used to being up on the stage, and he comes across as being very intelligent. He has a lot of information and knowledge about. You can see, like, he talks sometimes 5 or 6 minutes, just non-stop on the topic, and you can see throughout the video and maybe through your own self, there's probably many points of maybe misunderstanding or even things that I don't believe in. When he communicates with the person, it almost feels like a bullying tactic in a way. He's overwhelming them with information, and he's ignoring the fact that perhaps they don't agree with certain points. Or he's using sort of trapping techniques where the person has to agree to, he'll say like, didn't you say that, or didn't you say this? And the person knows, like, when they say yes, he's going to take that as a confirmation that because he said that, everything else he said also is true. And in general, my first impression, without looking at the specifics of this, is just I feel like actually my intellect and my question and my understanding is not being really respected. Instead, it feels like, he has an agenda to try and make me understand something, to try and make me believe a certain truth and a conclusion maybe that the things in Islam are true, or this book or this way of life, or there's a certain teaching here that is true, and it has less to do with actually my understanding and my abilities. And these perhaps insecurities or doubts that I have, I can definitely feel that. Like it's a part of me is like, like I'm unsatisfied with the answer I'm getting, and I don't feel like I want to keep, let's say, living and following these perhaps rules when I get an answer such as that. And when we as individuals communicate with ourselves, we also see a lot of that happens. If we listen to ourselves, we can realize, like, hey, actually, I'm not so happy with this sort of a situation or this understanding, and maybe I should dig deeper or try and understand deeper. But so we see like a lot of people listening and sort of almost applauding or celebrating this sort of attack or demolition, maybe, let's say, right? This it's almost theatrical in a way. Someone's asking a question, he's knocking down and sort of with his intellect and his answers, talking about all these things that are very specific, let's say, to the books. He's going into the details, and it leaves with his also have a helicopter. Somehow nice to. There's a couple of different parts that play into here. I think a lot of people. They may have, let's say, faith and say, I believe in these things that I don't understand, and I choose to follow these rules and I choose to do them. And even if people feel like questioning them, there is this social pressure, and it's kind of, do I really want to do something that's not allowed or not correct? There's definitely this feeling that one has, and it's quite difficult to make an understanding of the world. And even though one feels, okay, I feel like this is silly, or this is wrong, or this is bad, I'm gonna just keep doing it anyway, because that's like the pattern that I have. And so this getting social consensus, getting this other people in the room also, and getting this sort of acceptance, like look, this is true in a way, right? Everyone else sort of believes it, and somehow that's comforting to the soul, to the subconscious, that is looking perhaps for answers or is unsure and is raising up doubts and criticisms. So, when I look at, for instance, the audience or people who are getting off on this sort of explanation, this is sort of the analysis that I give, is that it feels to me like people are not wanting to take responsibility and wanting to say, hey, look, this person knows, and I'm going to follow this leader. instead of having to question and dig deep and to look. And that's, for me, like, definitely I think the friend recommended this person to me as a way of saying, hey, look, like this is an explanation for why, perhaps, like, listen to him, like he has some good things to say about Islam that maybe I cannot tell you about. And it felt to me as if, you know, he might convince you that that the Islamic teachings are good or great or something like that, or a justification for why that he shouldn't be eating meat. And yeah, it's sort of my short analysis on the topic is that people who are fearful of making change and looking to an authoritative figure to provide evidence, because there's a feeling there, and somehow it justifies the feeling, right? Someone being able to talk, and maybe I don't understand exactly what he's saying. When I listen to him talk, actually I have no idea what he's saying, but it's a very effective technique for sort of bewildering and overwhelming someone. And as a person asking a question and coming in humbly and saying, hey, look, I'm looking for some advice or some understanding here, probably I go away, like, even if there may be many questions that come up and many things along the way, and it's, yeah, that environment is not the correct environment for really educating. And anything, yeah, you can, if you look at in the videos in general that he has as well, it definitely feels like a very warrior style of communicating and knocking down and sort of trapping people into agreement. Or I think, yeah, most people, it's like, well, even if you had an inkling of an idea or trying to formulate or a question that you had, I feel like he doesn't give time to really get into the depth of, you know, what is it that I think or believe, and what is it that another person thinks and believes, and how can I coax them into an understanding. That would be, for me, I think, a much more effective method of helping an individual to gain some understanding that I had that was of effective utility and was going to bring them somewhere in their life. But I find here it's very much focused on the abstract meanings of specific logic that's being said and things that have been said by other people, or a rule book, let's say, in the Quran. And it seems to be really on this analytical level, and not so much to do with what is that person's current state of being, and taking it from, let's say, more a way, like a therapeutic or a therapy standpoint, right, where you sit down and you try and understand what the person is really, what's really their hang up, and what's their current understanding, and working with them from there. So that I think would be a more effective means if he had insights that he wanted to share specifically about Islam. But my current feeling is that it's he's a great speaker. He knows how to dodge and to communicate and to get a way around so that it looks like, hey, actually I know what I'm saying, but I actually don't have any idea what the meaning or content of, I just have the feeling of unease, perhaps that this person is he has an agenda to try and make me understand or agree with him, and that's like the main sort of feeling that I get when I watch that. So I wouldn't use that as a justification of how I should behave or what I should and shouldn't do. So, yes.